can't hear me right now. Now you can. Hey guys, how's it going? It's Jacob from The Latest Tech. In this video, I have a lot to talk about. Actually, not really. I want to say a couple things before we get started. First of all, I want to announce to everybody here that I've launched my Facebook channel. It's facebook.com/thelatesttech. So you can go over right now if you'd like. Or you can go over after and like my Facebook page. Again, facebook.com/thelatesttech. And then I have to urge you again to head over to timetobuyapple.com, check out my website. I've changed it up a little bit since the iPhone 5 release, so if you haven't been over there in a couple weeks, you might want to go check that out. Helps me out, gives me a couple extra bucks to improve my videos in the long run. So, with that being said, the other thing I want to talk about is I'll probably get a bunch of questions in the chat asking, have you gotten the iPhone 5? And the short answer is going to be no. I've pretty much held off till now, and I'm pretty proud of myself. I was thinking about buying it for full price, and like I just said, I decided to hold off until my upgrade date, which is October 6th, and I'm going to try to get it on that day and start my videos then. And I figured right now, all these people, all my subscribers probably are subscribed to other tech people that have gotten the iPhone. And if a lot of people are uploading all these iPhone 5 videos, they're probably flooding their subscription boxes. Now, if I upload all my iPhone 5 videos in a couple weeks, I'll probably get a couple more viewers, and you guys will actually probably watch my videos regarding the iPhone 5. So, what do we have to talk about today? We have iPhone 5 shipping. So the iPhone 5 is officially shipping. We'll talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about iOS 6 and more specifically iOS 6 maps and how bad it is. And then I'll just have some open questions. I'm starting to feel a little bit under the weather, so I'd like to hold this live stream to about half an hour. So we'll finish up around 1:30 Eastern Standard Time. So before we get started talking about the iPhone 5 shipping and just the iPhone 5 in general, let's answer a couple questions from the chat. What editing software do you use? I use Wirecast. Someone said, everybody subscribe, let's make this the most attended live stream ever. And I hope that happens. You guys can, really, if you want, share this with your friends. I think we have a great time. I'm going to try to get a little bit more enthusiastic as time goes on, because I know this might be a little bit boring for you, but I have had a lot of people comment saying, wow, this is one of the best live streams I've ever been to. You're my favorite tech YouTuber, and I just try to have a fun time, and this definitely gives us gives me a good opportunity to interact with you and the rest of my viewers. You need to get a Twitter account for your channel. I had one, and it really turned into a personal account. So right now I have my personal Twitter that I'm not going to share, but I did have one eventually, and I didn't really tweet much from it. So that being said, I don't really have any plans to get a The Latest Tech Twitter. So let's get on to the iPhone 5 and what has happened with the release date. So the release date was Friday, September 21st, and apparently Apple had a great release date. As you may know, the first day of pre-orders, they sold 2 million pre-orders, which is double what they sold in the first day last year for the 4S. And apparently sales, all the pre-orders and all the sales that happened over the weekend since it actually opened up in the retail stores, and I can already tell now that that number is going to be pretty high. So that being said, like I said, it started to ship, and within an hour of the pre-orders, we saw it back up to 1 to 2 weeks. After that, I think it took a couple days, but it backed up to 2 to 3 weeks. And now it's, if you were to pre-order or buy it online, it's backed up to 3 to 4 weeks. Now, I am on Verizon, and I've looked on Verizon.com, and it has said that right now, if you were to order, you'd get it on October 19th, which is actually pretty damn far away if you think about it. So October 19th, as soon as my upgrade's up, like I said, October 6th, I'm going to try to either go to the retail store or go to my local Verizon store and try to pick one up without ordering it online, because I cannot wait 3 weeks once my upgrade is up. So, you know what's actually interesting to me? On the release date on last Friday, a couple days ago, I actually called my Apple store around 4 in the afternoon, I think. I asked if they had any of their stock left from, the release date. And they said they only had about 60 people in line in the morning, which is actually a very small number. And after those 60 people came through, they had a very short line to get the iPhones. But most of the day, it was they didn't even have a line. So, and the lady pretty much said that they still had most of their stock left. And so that's pretty much what I'm interested in, trying to get it in the store as soon as it comes out. As you can see in this picture right here, it pretty much shows, it's actually pretty hard to tell. Let's see if you guys can tell, but it actually shows all those little boxes that seem to be the same shape. Those are all iPhones, and that's at a UPS shipping center. So you see some boxes that are different shaped, but most of the little ones, well, I mean, they're all brown, but most of the ones that are the same size, those are all iPhones, and that's just outstanding, I believe. Or that's what I think. So, let's answer some questions from the chat. What do you guys have to say? Why do you have the iPod Shuffle a not buy on your website? It just got updated. Really, it didn't get updated. It got updated colors, and I don't know. I might change it to a buy because we haven't seen an upgrade since 2010. It's pretty much the smallest an iPod Shuffle can get without it being much smaller. I could see maybe next year they releasing small upgrades to the iPod Nano and the iPod Touch, and maybe adding the Lightning connector or something interesting to the iPod Shuffle. But the only reason it's a not buy right now is because it hasn't been updated for 2 years. So, yeah. Is a 64 gigabyte iPhone 5 worth it? Let's put it this way: if you're buying it off contract, and that would be what, $850 for a 64 gigabyte iPhone 5 off contract, probably not worth it. But if your upgrade is up and you're eligible for an upgrade, and you need the storage space, go for it. $400 for an iPhone 5, that's not that bad at all, in my opinion. Have you gone somewhere to play with the new iPhone? I haven't gone to a store. I haven't gone to Best Buy or anything to play with it, but I have a couple friends, a couple people I know that have actually gotten the iPhone 5, and I do have to say that it's incredibly light. Like, you pick it up, and I'm sure you guys have heard this. You pick it up, and it is absolutely one of the lightest things, or the lightest phones I've ever laid my hands on. And that being said, I think it's one of the best phones out on the market right now. A lot of people are comparing it with the Galaxy S3, and the S3 is definitely a great phone. It has all those little features they talk about in the commercials. The next big thing is already here, but as far as performance, how fast it is, Geekbench points, or Geekbench score, the iPhone 5 definitely outruns the S3, and I believe that it's one of the best phones, if not the best phone out on the market at the moment. How old are you? I'm guessing college age. I'm actually a senior in high school, 17. I'll be 18 next spring. So, college next year. I heard 5 million so far. I wouldn't be surprised. 2 million in the first pre-ordered day. So that's not counting all the people that went out to the retail stores last Friday all around the world. I wouldn't be surprised if 5 million plus. You're going to get the iPod Touch 5. I want to see an unboxing. Yes, I've pre-ordered one. I've pre-ordered a black iPod Touch 5. I've pre-ordered a black iPod Nano, 7th generation. And I'm planning on doing a unboxing for you guys. Now, what I was thinking, it says that it's giving me free 5-day shipping. And you can't change it at all. So I don't know if as soon as those iPods are actually released, if I will be getting them on the day, so they'll ship it 5 days before and I'll get it on the day, or if I should cancel those pre-orders and just try to go to my local Apple store and pick one up on the day they come out. I have no idea. I'm getting my black iPhone 64GB black on October 10th. Good luck. I'm going to try to do that as well. I'm on contract. Good. Okay, so that's pretty much all there has to be said with the iPhone 5 shipping. Again, outstanding numbers for the first week, or the first day of pre-orders, the official first day of pre-orders. We know 2 million in one day. And I'm very curious to see what comes out during tomorrow, when they pretty much release to the public what their first weekend of numbers was. So why don't you guys try to get some of your friends in this? I'm having a good time, right? Like I said, I'm going to try to keep this live stream to only half an hour. Starting to get a little under the weather, and I'd like to keep it kind of short today because I have other things to do. Okay, so next thing we'd like to talk about, iOS 6 and the Maps application. So if you've been living under a rock for the last, I don't know, 5 years, you probably wouldn't know that iOS and the iPhone, the iPad, and the iPod Touch have been using Google Maps as their map server for since this year. And pretty much it's not so much that Apple hates Google and Google hates Apple, but their their contract to keep Google Maps and YouTube on their iOS devices has kind of run out, and both parties have kind of declined to renew that. So that being said, Apple made their own Maps application powered by TomTom. People thought it was going to be amazing, and I have to say, I don't like it, or I don't mind it that much. I really like the turn-by-turn navigation. It's working really well, but what people really don't like is when you actually use the satellite on it to look at something. Let's see. That's the most you can zoom in. I don't know if you can see that. That's the most you can zoom in. It's very low quality compared to Google Maps. And quite frankly, when Apple talked about their 3D maps for cities back at WWDC when they came out with it, they made it out to be a really huge and really big innovative feature, and really it's kind of bad. There's a lot of bugs in it, and we'll probably be seeing an upgrade sometime to iOS 6.0.1 or iOS 6.1 sometime in the next month or so. But that being said, a lot of people are really mad about it, and Apple has actually released a statement with TomTom saying it's a cloud-based maps network. So the more people that use it, the better the street view will get, the better the data will get, and it's going to be interesting to see how that happens, or what happens with it. So any other features with iOS 6, I've enjoyed it quite a bit. It hasn't put a strain on my battery. It's very fast on my iPhone 4S. Passbook, I haven't used it yet, but from what I've heard, it's very good. Like I said, the turn-by-turn navigation in Maps is really nice. Facebook integration's nice. Upgrades to Siri is really nice. And I just can't wait to use it on my iPhone 5 in a couple weeks because it's going to be so fast. And again, I really can't wait. So let's look at some questions, and then we'll get on to another topic I'd like to talk about quickly. Your videos are always professional. How do you do your intros? I actually had a friend make my intros. Thanks for your great videos. You're welcome. How's the weather there? It's great, actually. First day of fall yesterday, and it's around 60 degrees where I am. iPhone 5 jailbroken. There actually was a article that someone did jailbreak the iPhone 5. I don't know if it was real or not, but it looked pretty real. So yeah. So let's get on to continue to talk about iOS 6 actually. So with iOS 6, again, if you're living under a rock, you wouldn't know this. They released the Clocks app for the first time for the iPad, and it's a great Clocks app, actually. And this Swiss watchmaker in Switzerland actually have gotten mad. They think that the clock in the app actually resembles their actual watch way too much, and it actually does. Let's take a closer look at that. Yeah. You see that? They're kind of the same. Now, they haven't actually released that they're going to pursue legal troubles with Apple. Apple's trying to work out a deal with them to be able to use it, or to continue to be able to use it in their Maps application, or in their clock application. And it's hard to say what will happen, but without a doubt, you can see that this is the same exact clock. I mean, seriously. Look at it. I'm just going to let you look at it for a little bit. So you done looking at that? If you still think that those don't look the same, the clock in the iPad Clocks app and the clock that the Switzerland watchmaker makes, you're crazy, because they are pretty much the exact same image. So, seriously though, it's like the same thing. I don't know what else to say. You can read articles online, what other people have to say. I can't really think of anything else off the top of my head to talk about this, but yeah. So let's look at some more questions, and then we'll actually ask all the questions you want, because I told you this was going to be a really short live stream. We're coming up on 18 minutes, and I'm coming down with a cold. I have a ton of other stuff to do today. Gotta watch the Patriots, gotta watch some golf, do some homework, and yeah, and then I have school tomorrow. So what are you going to do with your iPhone 4S when you get the iPhone 5? Giveaway? Question mark. Giving it away would be way too big at this point for me. I kind of need the money, so what I'm planning on do is selling it on eBay, or just selling it to someone. Try to get some money so I can pay for my iPhone 5. Yeah. Do you play sports, or you just into tech? Play basketball, recreational golf, so I play on my own, and soccer at the moment. It's raining where I am. That sucks. Will you be getting iPod Touch 5th generation? Yes. Excuse me. I have pre-ordered it to come whenever it ships in October. What network will you get for your iPhone 5? Verizon. Not only is it the best network out there right now, but you know what? Let's talk about that, actually. Let's talk about the coverage maps for AT&T, Sprint, and Verizon. Let's see if I can get my viewer up, actually. So that's actually a bad one. 1 second. So, to make a long story short, Verizon's 4G network is literally the best out there. If anybody else thinks that AT&T and Sprint is, even combined, is better than Verizon, then you're crazy. Seriously. Alright, this is better. Actually, no, it's not. Excuse me. Actually, yeah. So I'm going to stay to my point. I can't get my viewer up, and I don't have a good map to show you, but the 4G network that Verizon currently holds is literally the best on the network, comparing it with AT&T and Sprint. Like I said, them combined doesn't even compare with Verizon, but I just laid my eyes across T-Mobile's 4G network, and it actually looks pretty good. It looks pretty much the same as Verizon, if not a little bit worse, a little bit better, give or take a couple networks thrown in there. But yeah, I'm going with Verizon. I've been on Verizon forever. Right now, let's see, Verizon, Verizon, Verizon. I love Verizon. 60 is what it is here in the dead of winter. To me, that is cold. 60, yeah. I live southern Maine, and it gets pretty cold here in the winter. I'm not gonna lie. What are the possible giveaways to come on the latest tech? Well, I just finished up my iTunes card giveaway. I gave away 3 of these. That was for 4,000 subscribers. If I hit 5,000 anytime soon, I would love to give something big away. I really don't know what it would be, but something big. How many Apple products do you have? I have a late 2009 white MacBook. Don't use that much, but I use it for school occasionally. iPhone 4S, gonna sell it to get the iPhone 5. And I have my 2011, spring of 2011, 21.5-inch iMac. What else do I have? I get a lot of products and sell them. Like I got the iPad 3rd generation, reviewed it, sold it. I got the white iPod Touch last year, reviewed it and sold it. What else did I get? Gotten a lot of stuff. Verizon iPhones are unlocked out of the box. Yes, they are unlocked out of the box. I'm glad you know that. There were people that, if anybody that doesn't know, there were people that figured out that you can actually put a nano SIM card for AT&T into the CDMA Verizon iPhone and it will work. I don't think it will work global, but it will work in the United States, and that's actually pretty cool. So if you have to switch to a different network, it's easy. How do you think Apple is holding up after Steve Jobs passed away? I've talked about this in the past. Steve Jobs pretty much had a hand in all the Apple products dating till 2014, I think is what they said. So until 2014 and after, we won't be seeing many products that Steve Jobs actually didn't have a thought in. So it's hard to say how they're doing right now, but personally, I think they're keeping up great work, and they're doing a pretty good job. What kind of car do you have? Toyota Tacoma. How old are you, bro? 17. Do you have the iPhone 5? No. If you were watching this at the beginning, I currently don't have the iPhone 5. My contract's up October 6th, and I was going to buy it off contract, but I figured I'd wait and make a couple extra bucks selling my iPhone 4S to get the iPhone 5. How many Apple products do you have? I already read that. We're getting the iPod Touch 5th generation. Yes. Whenever it comes out, I will get that to review and to unbox. Questions. I'm going to be ending this in 5 minutes. Sorry many people haven't been able to. What plan are you getting for your contract? Probably going to try to stay the same. Whatever they'll tell me I can get. Maine is a great state. I've been there a few times. I like Maine. It gets colder in the winter, but in the summer it's relaxing, and it's definitely a great state to come visit. If you haven't come visit Maine, come, because Portland is great and everything. More questions. We got 5 minutes left. I'll say it again if you're just joining me. I just launched my Facebook page, facebook.com/thelatesttech. You can get it right there. And I'm going to urge you to just head over to timetobuyapple.com, my website that pretty much tells you when the best time to buy an Apple product is. It will give you information about what's coming, rumors regarding the next generation of whatever product you pick. You'll be able to see how old the last generation was. So say you want to see the iPad 4th generation. You want to know when the next iPad's coming out. It will give you information pretty much regarding how old right now the iPad 3rd generation is. I think it's around 200 and something days. And how old the iPad 2nd generation was before it got updated. And then I think that was around 300. So, do you think they might put a vibrate on the iPod Touch 5th generation? I don't think they need to, because it's not like the iPhone where you need to have a ringer or an iPhone or a some sort of ringer when someone calls you. So maybe in the future, but I think they're trying to get that as thin as possible, and for them to add a vibrate, it would kind of make it hard to make it thin. How do you do lower thirds on your vids? Well, right now I'm doing Wirecast on YouTube. That's the application I'm using. And I just have an overlay that's built in the lower third. And for my actual videos, it's just Final Cut Pro 10. It's pretty simple. What desktop do you have besides the iMac? I don't have a desktop besides the iMac. If you're asking what's beside the iMac in my videos, it's just an external monitor that's plugged into my iMac via Thunderbolt. So, yeah. Actually, it might not be Thunderbolt. Is it still whatever it is? DVI or whatever? Whatever. It's a 21 or 20-inch iMac, or external monitor plugged into my 21.5-inch iMac. All right, 3 more questions. Do you like snakes? No. Well, I don't really care. Sorry I couldn't really keep this a long live stream. Like I've said multiple times so far in this live stream, I'm starting to come under the weather, I believe. I'm starting to get a sore throat. That's why I'm drinking all this water. And I have a lot of other stuff to do today, so I don't want to run my voice out and get tired from talking for an hour. But next weekend, probably Saturday actually, maybe Saturday at 1 o'clock, I'll be doing a live stream. Won't have my iPhone 5 yet, but we'll definitely have something to talk to. What is better, TF2 or Portal? Portal. Thunderbolt, yes. How many giveaways have you done? I've done iPod... One second. I think I've given away a couple of these, haven't I? They're just iPod Touch 4th generation cases. I've given away maybe 2 of those. I've given away way back when I gave away iTunes cards. Most recently I gave away $30 of iTunes cards. Hopefully as I grow and get bigger and start to make a little bit more money on this, I'll be able to give away big products like iPod shovels, iPod nanos, maybe even an iPhone 5 or iPhone 7 sometime in the future. What phone will you buy if Apple never existed? Probably the S3. They're so close in comparison, I don't even know why people try to argue which phone is better. So if I didn't have the iPhone 5, I'd definitely get the S3. One more minute of questions, and then I'll have to let you guys go. I want to appreciate everybody that's come out here. I've had a great time so far. I know it was short, but it's definitely fun to interact with you guys on a live basis. Questions. So let's recap what we talked about, I guess, while I wait for questions to come into the chat. We talked pretty much about the iPhone 5 officially shipping, big boxes, crazy. We talked about iOS 6 Maps application, and we talked about that watch in Switzerland that is pretty much matched with the clock application on the iPad. It's incredible, actually. Let's look at that again, actually. I think it's unreal how close they are. Everything about this watch on the right is the same about the watch on the iPad. And hopefully in the next couple of weeks, I'll be able to get my iPhone 5 and pretty much talk about it with you guys. So, it's 1:31, but I'm going to answer whatever questions are in the chat currently, and then I'll let you guys go. So, if they never had Apple Store, they would never have an Android Store app. Sure. When do you think AT&T was shipping out more backordered, pre-ordered iPhone 5s? I read somewhere that the iPhone 5s on the iPhone 5 pre-orders that were officially backed up. I think if you pre-ordered after that first hour on the 14th, it said that it was 1 to 2 weeks. Those are actually shipping early, opposed to I think they started shipping Saturday. So hopefully sooner than you'd expect. Is the iPhone 5 and Beats Pro a good mix? Probably. They're not. It's not like enhanced for Beats audio or whatever. What's your dream Mac and job? Don't know about my job, but my dream Mac would probably be a 12-core or 2013 Mac Pro with with 3 or 2 27-inch Thunderbolt displays. What color iPhone will you be getting? I'll be getting a black. How tall are you? 5'9" maybe? Couldn't tell you. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to play the darn music again. And, yeah. So, I want to thank you guys for watching. Remember to check out all my other videos. You can watch this again as soon as it's uploaded onto the internet. And, I will catch you guys next time. See you later.